I failed to mention this while I was filming, so I'll just say here that I could not see every movie of 2014. I have to wait until 2015 because as much as I wanted to see Birdman and Whiplash and a few other films out there that I didn't get to see, I just couldn't because I'm only 15. I can't get into every movie and everything, and it wasn't even that. It was just I couldn't get it right. You get the point. Limited releases. I'm very limited. So if there's a movie on here that you're like, hey, this should be on there, I'm sorry, I just didn't see it. Enjoy the video.
What's up, everybody? Today we're here to talk about the top 10 best films of 2014 and the bottom 5. So without further ado, let's get on to this. So starting with 2 honorable mentions. The Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies and The Raid 2 are 2 fantastic films with lots of great action. And, well, one of them is an emotional send-off if you're a fan of Middle-earth. Yeah, that's right, it was The Raid 2. No, Raid 2 is some of the best action I've ever seen, but, everything else was just good. It wasn't great like the action was. And then Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies was a great film, but it also didn't, it just didn't make the list. But if you love the Middle-earth stuff, it's an emotional send-off, I definitely recommend checking it out in theaters. So without further ado, let's get into the top 10. Number 10 is the Lego Movie. Yeah, didn't expect this one to be on the list, but I really love this movie. The voice casting was perfect, the story was fun, it was hilarious. Is my favorite kids film of the year. Interstellar has a lot of people mixed, but personally, I just love how this is like a 2001 type thing. I love the ambition behind this film. I love the performances. The visuals sold it for me, and that's why it's on this list. Nightcrawler was not only an interesting film with an amazing car chase in it, but it's also an excellent character study, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who is perfect and just embodies this character. You don't see Jake Gyllenhaal, you see this character. This movie is excellent. Edge of Tomorrow was unexpectedly awesome. It was original, it was clever, and it was very action-packed. Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt make this movie, but the incredible action sequences and overall enjoyment of the film you get, and the uniqueness of the whole thing, make it all the better. X-Men Days of Future Past was extremely refreshing, but it also was just a good movie on its own. That's something that Bryan Singer still continues to do with these X-Men films that he's directed, is they're just good films. Probably my favorite X-Men film to date. Guardians of the Galaxy was funny, action-packed, and emotional. This is a whole other, great thing for Marvel, done by Marvel. I mean, honestly, this movie was just freaking excellent. It was so different from anything else we've ever seen. This is like the crappy version of the Avengers, but it's so awesome at the same time. It's just an awesome movie. John Wick is a stylish action film, and probably my favorite genre of stylish action films. John Wick definitely delivered. It was much needed to go see in theaters. It's incredibly underrated. Christopher Reeves, Keanu Reeves is perfect in this role, and the action is just perfection. The whole thing is just fun to watch. Number 3 is Gone Girl. Now, I just love a mystery thriller. Gone Girl just delivers on so many levels. Ben Affleck's perfect in this role, and he's so perfect because of the media pressure that's been on him, that he just from playing becoming Batman, that he just brings that to this film. Him and Rosamund Pike make this movie. Tyler Perry's also fun in the film, and the whole thing's perfectly directed by David Fincher, and it is incredibly suspenseful all the way through. Number 2 and number 1 are interchangeable, but Captain America: The Winter Soldier is at number 2, and I honestly, I love the spy movies, the action movies, the superhero movies, and this is just all of that, and that's why it's so high on this list, because I love everything about this movie. It was freaking just nearly perfect. I just love all the spy elements to the film. Chris Evans is perfect along with Scarlett Johansson. The Winter Soldier character himself is interesting, and this is one of my favorite Marvel Comics stories, so it was to see it perfectly adapted and made into this mature, unique Marvel movie, just sold it for me. And number 1 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Oh my goodness, this movie is incredibly directed, incredibly acted by Andy Serkis and Jason Clarke and Gary Oldman. Just incredibly suspenseful and engaging the whole way through. I loved every minute of this movie. I was just so engaged in this incredible story. I love these movies too, and this nearly lived up to the original Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston. I loved this movie. It was just perfect. It was everything I wanted and more out of just not just a Star Wars movie, but a movie. Now on to the shitstorm. Number 5 is Transformers Age of Extinction, because the first time I saw this movie I was like, alright, it was bad, but it wasn't that bad, as you can tell in my review. After I saw it again, I'm like, oh my god, this movie is unbearable. Like, even in the theaters, after the 2-hour point, I'm like, this movie just has to end. This is beyond guilty pleasure fun. This is just crap. The second time, I was just having trouble sitting through it. It's a fun theater experience for the first 2 hours, but after that, I just got sick of it. I'm like, oh my god, this whole thing sucks. Number 4 is The Legend of Hercules, a cheap-looking piece of crap. Rennie Harlan, what happened? You made Die Hard 2. You are a good action director, but the acting was horrible. The villain was just embarrassing. Just this whole movie was crap. When will the Paranormal Activity movies stop being made? Because I think now they've overstayed their welcome. That's all I have to say. This movie tries to be clever by incorporating the first one into it, but just doesn't work. The movie sucks. It's Paranormal Activity. It's too old. I can't do this anymore. It sucks. Another horrible horror movie was Ouija, produced by Michael Bay. Must I say more? And number 1 is Left Behind, starring Nicolas Cage. The original was crap. This one's even worse. Just everything about this movie is horrible, from the direction to the performances. We don't even get a Nicolas Cage freak out. It has nothing to do with my religious views, but this movie's just, the religious message I don't know, it's so forced. And the movie's structure, just everything that can be wrong about a movie is in this movie. It's like you got, like Chris Duckman said, you got theatrical movies, you got straight to DVD, you got television movies, and then somewhere down here, he's left behind. That's not an exaggeration. This movie is so bad. Do not watch it. So that's my top 10, bottom 5 of the year, guys. Can't wait for 2015. We got some great stuff coming out. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Ignore the giant zit on my face. Do whatever floats your boat, Billy. See you later.